Hello friends on YouTube, welcome to another video. Today I want to look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, also called CFI 70. So this is the first revision of the Pro, and we're going to look at the airflow of the fan and the RPM, also at the power consumption, and I also want to find out the duty cycle, because on the PS5 Slim they increased the duty cycle from 18% to 23% in game, and I want to find out if it is also a bit higher on the Pro. And before I start unboxing it, I want to show you something that I found out now. Here you can see maybe on the box, this feels a bit different. They changed it. And also on this one, it's like on the Slim, the hinge is missing. So on the first revisions or the first models, you could lift them up here nicely. On the Slim, that's not possible. And also, yeah, for me the nicest packaging was the Phat model packaging, because we had an extra box and the stand, of course, and we have everything inside here, so we can lift it, and also the manual and everything. It's nicely packaged, so we can get it out and then get to the console. On this one it's a bit different. We will see it now. And also I would recommend you to not get the outer box out, because when you want to put it back in, it's hard to get it inside, and everything that you want to see is already cut out here. You can see there's a window, and here we can see the serial number. This one is manufactured in 2024 in the 6th month, so we will also see what firmware is on. So I will quickly mount the camera and then we can unbox it. So the easiest thing to do is just cut this. And then without getting it out of the box. There's enough space to open this. And here we have everything. For cable. And I hope that I can use these feet and put them on the Slim, because I'm going to use the disk drive of the Slim, and the feet are smaller if it's a digital edition, let's say, and if you want to use it with the disk, the feet are a bit larger. So I think I can swap them, we will see. Here is the controller, probably the 4th or 5th revision. What we have? HDMI cable, USB-C to USB-C, and on the Phat models it's a bit different. We have a USB-A to USB-C, so this is something that changed. And now you can see this is just inside the manual, and for me on the first models it was nicer packaged. This is also okay. Yeah, of course. Let's see what. And if you have the space, I would recommend to keep the box. So this is not shiny. This is the Slim. It's shiny. And yeah, on the Slim we have 4 different fan models. Delta, NMB, Nidec and Foxconn. And the Pro, it only comes with Foxconn and Delta. So let's find out what fan is inside here. And it's one of them, Foxconn or Delta. So we can now open this. Not sure which way. Something like this, I guess. Yeah, had to check it. I don't want to break it, so I'm going to bend it a bit, and then I think it's easier to get out. Yeah, so you can see there are like noses here. Two noses that snap in, and when you bend it up, they're not going to break or to scratch here. Not just, I wouldn't recommend to pull, maybe bend a bit and then. Okay. We already all know that these plates do not fit on the Slim, only the lower ones. Let's see. This is, you can recognize them. If it looks like a star, then it should be a Delta fan. And if it is like a plus, then it is a Foxconn fan. Yeah, let's get it out. And I want to mount this in between so we can actually measure the PWM duty cycle. And also we can find out how much higher this fan is compared to a Slim fan. Okay, if you want to remove the fan, you can just pull on the wires. So I wouldn't recommend you to use tools. Just with the fingers you can pull on all 3 wires and it's out. So now let's see. This is how it looks like. Let's quickly look at the fan. This is the, as I said, Delta fan, and you can maybe see it already. In between the larger blades, 19 blades there are also smaller blades, and this side is where the VRM cooler is, the small one, and this is where the large one is. You can see the smaller blade there, larger on the VRM side than on the other side. So I guess this is also for improving the cooling of the VRM heatsink, let's say the smaller heatsink that is up here. So they want probably to push even more air here. And one thing that helps are the holes, so you can see through the fan. And the other thing is this. And I'm not sure if it is the same on the Foxconn fans. So this is actually 19 plus 19 blades. Cool. Nice to see that. And also what I want to show you what's also cool on the Pro. We have on the OG model. This was the first one. This is like the heatsink, the large copper heatsink, and it's completely flat, let's say. So there is nothing on the surface here. Maybe we can see a bit of like grooves, but it's from the manufacturing. And on the Pro fans, the Pro heatsinks, I'm not sure if it's all on the Pro, but I saw a YouTuber, he opened it, and we can see on the Pro there are grooves. I will put a picture inside. So this is probably to prevent dry spots. So the liquid metal that is in between here, it is going to stay inside the grooves and help with the cooling probably also. So nice improvements, let's say, that they made. I'm glad that we have a Delta fan here. because some of them spin at a really high RPM, and they can differ by 200 RPM. My first Slim that I got, the fan spinned at 1200 RPM and it was really loud. I made a video about it, and this is also the experience now with a lot of you. Some of you have the Delta fan, and some of the Delta fans, yeah, there is a chance, it's like Lotto, let's say. Some of you will probably get one that is not that loud, and some of you will get some that are spinning faster. Of course, they're cooling better, but they're going to be much louder, and some are really too loud. And on the other models, normally the variation of the RPMs is not that high. On the Deltas, it can really be a large Delta, let's say. Maybe that's why they choose the name Delta. So let's turn it on for the first time. %, 20% duty cycle. Interesting. So where is the blue picture? Oh, here it is. First time turning it on. And so there is already one more reason to not use the slim fans inside the PS5 Pro. It runs at 20% duty cycle, guys, in menu. Okay, I have to connect the controller, and now of course I have this cable, USB, not possible. Something that I also not really appreciate, let's say, but it is how it is. I have wireless headsets, and it has like an adapter here, and now I cannot use it on the front, I have to use it on the back. So let me quickly connect everything. I'm going to skip it, just do this later, and press OK here. And from the noise so far, extremely silent. So we'll see when we start the game. I want to find out on which firmware it is on, and I'm not going to connect to the internet. Always selecting custom, and everything should be turned off. Download system updates. Oh, on this one it's already turned on when you select custom. That's interesting. So if you do not want to update it, don't connect to the internet, select custom and turn everything off here. I would recommend you to do this if you get a Pro, and just write down the serial number and which firmware it was on, and you can write it in the comments, because we want to find out when they are going to switch to a different firmware. So this can help for jailbreaking and so on. And I always like to use limited data. It probably doesn't make any change. Can I mute it now? Okay, it's muted. And the fan is really silent. Now the fridge is working in the background, but crazy how silent it is. But it's 20% duty cycle, so guys, don't buy slim fans. And also, if there is like the same duty cycle, still the slim fans are not recommended, because this one has more blades on the other side. You saw it on the VRM side. And slim fans will have worse cooling, let's say. I want to find out quickly information about Astro's Playroom. Last update. Yeah, it's already late. Version 1.20, okay. Let me quickly go here to settings, system, console information. Wow, it's on 9.05. That's nice. So now I can hope that it is silent when I start Astro's Playroom, because then this is a nice console. I ordered it on Amazon in Germany. Amazon, I'm from Austria, so if you want to know where you can maybe find also one with a low firmware. Let's see, we're in menu. On this side it's 0.9, and later we'll check the other side. Yeah, 0.9 constant. And yeah, now comes the moment of truth. (32, 33%). So far everything is okay. I expected it to run around 1000 RPM. So you have probably, if you have a really loud console, then I guess you have a delta. If the fan is loud, not the VRM. So the coils. If you have a loud fan, then I'm pretty sure that you have a delta that is running at 1000, I don't know, 300 or 1200 RPMs or so. So you can maybe change the fan. And in a few weeks, I guess there will be some fans that replacement fans. As expected, on this side 1.9, it's really high. It's like when you run a slim fan on much higher duty cycles, let's say 1.9 or 2. So there is a lot of air pushing through the small heat sink that is somewhere on this side. So this is also nice to know. And wattage now, I will go to the spot where I always stay, and then we can check the wattage. Okay, now I want to explain you how you can find out if it's the coil wine, and I'm pretty sure it's the VRM coil wine, not the PSU. A lot of guys think it's the PSU, but I don't think it is. I think it's the VRM. So now the fan is spinning and we're in menu. The game is in background. So you can see here is the game in the background, so we can resume the game. And we're still at 32% or 33% duty cycle. And now we can hear the fan. And of course, they increased the fan speed. So on the Phat models, this is the Phat model, the first one, the fans were slower. Then this is CFI 12, they increased it a bit. And down on the Slim, they increased it also a bit more. And now it's the same like on the Slim, I would say, on this one. They just improved the fan design, you saw it, and also the duty cycle is higher. So totally different fan. And now we can hear the fan. And I would say it's okay, yeah. Some of you maybe have other experiences. But for me, this is okay. I heard much worse. And I'm happy to say that, yeah, it's okay, I would really say, because you can put it behind somewhere. Of course, it can be better, it can be more silent, but I think it's really not that bad. You have also to imagine that it has a lot of performance. So let me quickly now start the game or resume the game, let's say go inside the game. So now we're at 94 watts, usually it's around 100, so it's also nice wattage. So we now open the game and you will see that then the VRM coils are starting to work. And we can hear the VRMs, but it's not, for me at least on this model, it's not that extreme, let's say. So let's move quickly back to game. I'm not sure if you can hear it, so I will quickly close the game completely. Oops. And restart the game again, because I want them to sit really inside the controller. Okay, now we're back at 20. We have 500 and some. In game we have on this side 2.1, 2.0. Okay, it slowly increases, and I think I will also put the fan speed accelerator inside, that is smoothing it out a bit and everything, and to simulate a higher RPM. Now we have 1250 RPM in game. Because I put on the fan speed accelerator, it's set to plus 10%, and you're now at around 38% duty cycle. And now if you measure it, as you can see, it's at 1240, so plus, let's say, 200 RPM. And now this is the noise I think a lot of you guys hear, because some Delta fans, they're spinning faster. But if you have higher RPMs, you should also have better cooling. So now it's 2.2, 2.3 instead of 2 or 2.1. So better cooling but louder console. So I'm now going to close the game with the fan speed accelerator, the custom fan speed accelerator, and look how nicely it is going to reduce the duty cycle. So close game. It slowly decreased it, not that jump. So now I rotated it, and I will recommend this, as I said, to bend it a bit when opening, and then you will not hear something weird noise or something. So just bending it and lifting it up without noises, and then you're not going to damage the noses here if you bend it. 1.1 in menu. And 48 watts. So let's now start the game and listen again. In game we're at 2.3, 2.4, so it pushes a lot of air, and it's not a high wattage currently. Let's continue. And I will now let it sit for a few minutes like this. And I want to see if how high the wattage gets. And then we can put it in a vertical position and see the wattage in the vertical position. And I assume that in the horizontal position it is better, also with the Pro. And if you look at the heatsink that's inside, there are a few heat pipes. I will put a picture, and the right two heat pipes, you can see they're going like upwards, so the liquid, when it liquefies, it will stay on the corner down, and I think it's better when it's lying because it can go all the way exactly where the APU is. So on the other hand, we have on the other side the VRM cooler, the smaller one. I call it VRM cooler, and on this one I'm not sure. We have to test it to see which position is the best for this one, because it looks like they try to improve the cooling on this side as good as possible, but then I don't know why they're using like thermal putty glue or something to glue it on, why they didn't put it underneath the heat shielding and to have a better connection from the heat pipe directly to the VRMs or whatever it's underneath. And on this side I'm not sure, because when you imagine that it is lying flat, then maybe it's worse. If you imagine like it's expanding and liquefying again the gas that's inside, or the liquid. And yeah, we have to test it. Maybe for this cooler it can be that it's better when it's standing, and on the other hand, of course, when you have it stand up, you will block the vents underneath, you will see it. And what I also like is the shielding. On the left side we can just unscrew 2 screws, and then we are able to unplug the USB front panel. That's much nicer now. That's also an improvement. Yeah, let's continue. So we'll put back the plate and let it run for a bit. So I'm going to resume filming and just speed it up. So this video now where you watch me struggle to get the plate back on, I speeded it up. Normally it took me around 70 minutes for this test. First I had it horizontally for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, and then I put it in vertical position and put something underneath, because I do not have the stand. It's now a bit higher, so that nobody can say you block the vents underneath or so. And then I just ran around with an infrared camera. You can watch and see how the temperature looks like from outside. And normally, if you want really to check out the temps, we would have to install probes. And yeah, you can see underneath how much air is pushed out. So I am pretty sure, and I would also recommend you to, if you have an option, let it down, let it like in horizontal position. And I also measured the airflow, you will see it later. And of course, as you can see now, the wattage is at 170, because before I switched from horizontal to vertical, I let it a bit cool down, let's say. So it was like a few minutes only using 170 watts instead of 200, and then I lifted it up and started again the game. So now it jumped to 200, and yeah, you can watch the wattage and see. As far as I saw, it was maybe 1 watt higher at peak in horizontal in vertical position versus horizontal position. So there is not much difference. Yeah, I would like to install probes and check out the power supply temperature too in horizontal and vertical. My recommendation is horizontal, like always. Okay, we now know it is a bit lower in horizontal position, and if you have the stand, you're going to block here the vents. And when I put my hand here, I'm not sure if there is a bit of air coming out, but we can measure it. So now I'm going to put this thing here where normally the stand sits, and 0.4 meters per second. So you can see it moving. So we have here airflow. Let's see all the way in the front. So if you have a stand, it's going probably to block a bit of the vents. It is, I think, better to not block them here. This is a Foxconn fan from the Slim inside the PS5 Pro, and it's spinning at much higher RPMs than it would spin in the PS5 Slim, because the PS5 Pro has other duty cycles. And now we're in the game and you can hear it. And let's compare it to the normal one, the Delta. And now we have the Delta fan. Yeah, it's much more quiet or silent. So you can put in slim fans, but they're going to spin too fast and they're going to be too loud. And this is normally the most silent one, and you've heard it. Okay, now I put on the feet of the PS5 Slim, and we will find out. I think that they will fit. And this is the drive that was inside the PS5 Slim. maybe there are also some different now. And now we can get it inside. And what's also cool here is the system battery underneath. It's also something nice. It's already inside? No. Okay, now it's inside. I think, yeah. Is it moving? No, it's not moving. Let's put on the plate from the Slim and I hate these plates. CFI 10, 11 and 12. The other plate design where you lift it and push it, for me it's much nicer. So this is also to go on. I'm going to bend it a bit. And it's already on without noise. And now it should fit. Okay, this was not on. Now it is. Yeah, looks nice. Now let's check the CFI 10 and listen to it. Now I connected the CFI 10 and this one is on a low firmware 2.70. Let's listen to the fan when we start the game and to the coil whine. Yeah, this one is also not that loud. Yeah, which one is more silent now? For me, the CFI 12 that I'm using as main console, that's up to date. It's really not comparable to the Pro because this is much more silent. There is a bit of coil whine noticeable, but way less than on the Pro. And on the Pro it's also okay. I'm not going to sit directly in front of it. And I know that it is also okay for most of you. And if you want really a really silent console, you can get a CFI 12, or also some Slims are really also very silent. And for all of you who have a Pro and you have a fan that is very fast, I think that you will it is probably a Delta fan, and some of the Delta fans that they just have a higher RPM. And if there is not much coil whine, I would recommend you to wait a bit and don't risk, return it, and maybe we'll get later one with a better fan but much more coil whine. So if you think that the coil whine is okay, and you can test it by just going out of the game, like in menu with the game in background, and then you will only hear the fan and most of the coil whine is reduced then, like I showed. And if you're satisfied with coil whine, let's say, but not with the fan, you can wait a bit. In a few weeks I guess you can order the Pro fans from AliExpress or so. And if I find something, you can go in Discord, there are links in the description, and I will, if I find something, I will post it. Or a lot of guys from the community who posted also their videos in the Discord channel, you can watch their videos, and I guess if someone finds something. They will also post it. Yeah, tell me your opinion. What are you experiencing with the Pro? And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Bye bye.
Never gonna give you up.